It's 3:04. I'll call the Trinity Metro Board of Directors meeting to order. And the first order of business is the pledge. Ben, would you do us the honor?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under citizen comments, we have three people that would like to visit. The first one will be Sandra Pettis. You'll have 3 minutes to speak, and please let us know where you live. Okay, there you go.
Just come on over here.
Thank you.
You're
Nice
welcome.
shoes.
Thank you. And then I'll set the timer for 3 minutes. and
Okay.
you're welcome to go.
All right. 2, 1.
Welcome.
Ready. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings to all of you. My name is Sandra Pettis, and I live at 5008 Champions Avenue in Fort Worth. I think that's the east side over there. All right, and I wanted to share some things today. Gratitude. I'm grateful for the good news, the new vehicles, service, great drivers and good attitudes. Many thanks to all of those who plan to do the best job that they can do each day. All right, and then excellence and improvement. It is what we all desire, and it is achievable, and we can strive for it. And this last section is, did you know? All right, while we have great things going on, and I'm very happy about those things, and I speak for all of those who may not be able to speak and share, great things, but did you know that there are some things that are not as great that I know that we could improve it and do better? I would like to share briefly one situation that I experienced, and I believe we're not going to have to experience something like this again, and I pray no one else would have to experience this also. While attending an amputee meeting over in Richardson, I had scheduled ahead of time, and I was to arrive back from Dallas to Fort Worth. I think it was around 10:10 or 10:13. Had scheduled the trip and all of that, followed what the lady said to do. When I got back, there was no ride, nothing there for me, even while I was waiting, like, okay, I guess they'll be here in a little bit. It was all shut down because I think everybody at a particular time, which is just what I noticed, everybody is told, get out and go to your own places or wherever you need to go. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so it was nobody there. So this was like after 10, and a lot of people were gone, and I thought, oh, wow, I never seen it this empty. Well, what happened is I didn't know where my ride was. I was trying to call and see if there was something going on or something late, or I don't know. I tried. There was no information. There's no communication, no transportation. Nobody came to get me, pick me up or anything. And I tried to find somebody that was in the area. This is in Central Station, to try to find out, well, is there somebody I could talk to?
Go ahead and finish.
Okay, I'll make that quick. So, the last thing is, and I'm very sorry, I like to respect the things. The last thing is, I did not get a ride home. I had to call somebody that was sick to come and get me, and it was almost midnight. When we finally got somebody to answer the phone, this is what was said. Well, we don't have you scheduled on our thing. Now, you may not know, but there are some lies and things that are not necessary. That was one of them. So I will cut it off there. So that's one of the did you know those things. That was not necessary. And however, what if something had to happen to me? raped, hit, robbed, any of that. Out there by myself, nobody was there, nobody was answering the phones. That's not acceptable. So,
We would agree,
that
and
is
we
a
appreciate you
huge-
coming out, and I can assure you, we'll take a look at that.
Yes,
So thank you for
please
coming
do.
by. I appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Ms. Pettis, if you would, before you leave today, connect with Wayne Gensler. You see Wayne there? Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne.
Next speaker is Michael McCoy. Yes, sir. Ashton Smith. Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back. What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, life ain't too bad now. How are you doing?
Very well. Oh, here.
Right on, brother. Right on, right on. Thank you so much. I appreciate you helping me out. You were at the last meeting, I think.
I'm
You're
at
the
every
best.
meeting.
Thank you, brother. Hey, look, I appreciate it, man, for being there.
Thank you. Here you
I
go.
appreciate you.
Go for it.
Well, I appreciate you as well. I am glad to be here, and I think you guys should know about a service since you guys have this new service online with Trinity Metro with access. There's a service that goes from Dallas to Houston that's called Hitch. That service, of course, is privately funded, which I've used that service, and you can use your cell phone to pay for that service. I also thought that Trinity Metro could close that gap by partnering with that service to give people a chance to go all across Texas, and that could be done in two ways. One, being sponsored by that service, or the federal government being able to make those services come together, meaning through tax dollars or other means. I think it's a good service, and I think it can also help people who have to get to Houston who may not qualify for medical services or those services through their insurance company to transport them to places. So I think that that's a good service. Look up Hitch on your cell phones. I'm also proud of the fact that you guys have this new service coming online. I like it. I have used the service before in New York, riding with Via. I've used that service in New York, and I absolutely like it because years ago, I remember coming up here and saying Via could work for you guys, and look at you now. You've got a service that's reliable. You have a service that's app efficient, meaning that someday it'll be able to be tuned or married with your cell phones or other devices, which will make my life a lot easier. I don't have to carry cash on me. All I have to do is just hit the button and pay. So I think if you guys get to that, it'll make everyone's lives easier, though making sure people with disabilities can have access by still keeping tickets and whatnot. But we are moving into the future. I am proud of Trinity Metro, and I'm proud to ride its services regardless of my bank account or what money I have. I think that making Trinity Metro viable for everybody, not just those who are rich or those who are poor, what have you, find a balance, and you'll make more money that way by having people that are able to pay a little bit more money. And I think for me, I've been able to do that. I'm also proud of your services and what you guys are doing to provide security and safety to people in these trying times we live in. We must step up and make sure people feel safe. I'm sorry about the lady who was left. That also happened to me too. I was actually left somewhere, but I was actually fortunate enough to have $1 in my wallet and money in my pocket and call an Uber. That's not the case for everybody. So I don't know, how y'all are going to make that work in the new system to make sure at 10 o'clock at night or whatever hours that doesn't happen. How, what's your plans, or how do you guys feel like that can happen to try to make sure that people are picked up, in a manner, especially at night? I don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff, but I want to make sure and give people those accesses. But I do want you guys to look up Hitch. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you, brother.
Smith.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Y'all be blessed. Thank y'all.
Let the record reflect that he's wearing an orange Longhorn outfit in celebration of our orange line. So, Mr. Smith, please understand, I have two Aggie brothers. Okay. Okay, has everyone had that ends citizen comments, and that portion of the meeting is closed. I'll move into the meeting minutes for August 19th. Do I have a motion for approval? Or we have a motion?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. The first item of business is commuter rail under information item and reports. Uh-oh, you're not Reed.
I'm not Reed.
I'm a clever guy.
Good afternoon, Board. Mr. Andreski, my name is Sherry Lee, and I'm your Director of Rail Quality and Performance. And today, in place of Reed, I will be presenting the rail on-time performance and ridership. For TRE, we'll start on that one. For TRE, total ridership for the, I'm sorry? Oh, I'll speak a little louder. It's the first time I've ever had anyone say that to me. For TRE, that's Trinity Railway Express, our total ridership for the month of August 2024 was 100,377 passengers. That's an 8.39% increase over August 2024. TRE on-time performance for the month of August was 98.7%. TRE continues to do a great job in providing reliable commuter rail services. TexRail. And for TexRail, the total TexRail ridership for the month of August 2024 was 65,201 riders. This is an 18.98% increase over August 2023. And of course, we always like to brag when events are happening throughout our region that boost our ridership. And this month, we can definitely say that during Grapevine Grape Fest, we carried 12,573 passengers. That's really big for us. This is a 456 increase in passenger ridership over last year. On-time performance was 96.9% in the month of August. Not quite our goal, but TexRail experienced a contractor striking one of our signals, which delayed a few of our trains at the Halton Road crossing, but we were able to recover, and we are confident that had it not been for this particular incident, we would have been able to reach our 98% on-time performance. With that being said, I will definitely say TexRail continues to do a great job in providing reliable commuter rail services, and I'll take questions if there are any.
Any questions or comments?
If not, thank you.
Thanks very much. The next order of business is 2024 safety survey results. Jeff.
Good afternoon. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Andreski, board members, my name is Jeff Brown. I'm the Chief Safety Officer here at Trinity Metro, and I'm here today to update you on the results of the 2024 safety survey, which was just recently completed. Before I get started on that information, I would like to take a quick moment and recognize our former Chief Safety Officer, Jessica Powers. She was recently promoted to the Chief Operating Officer at TRE and has laid much of the groundwork for our safety program as it is today. The safety survey is conducted annually to promote the overall effectiveness of our entire safety culture program. Safety culture is defined as the values and behaviors that demonstrate our commitment to putting safety first in everything that we do on a daily basis. In order to measure this, we have asked 10 specific questions of all employees throughout the entire organization, and that includes frontline employees, TexRail, TRE, as well as leadership. As you can see from the numbers on the chart in front of you, we had very encouraging increase in participation versus the 2023 survey at a whopping 60% increase. Additionally, our positive responses increased by 3% and our negative responses decreased by 14%. The chart in front of you is a basic summary of all of the individual comments that were received on the survey. I was able to group these together, and as you can see, half of them are rightfully related to the safety and security of our frontline employees. Nearly a quarter of the responses related to safety communication, and the third most common topic was on the safety of our facilities, equipment, and our vehicles. In order to manage our safety program, we take a safe system approach, which simply means that we take into account all aspects of our industry and apply different risk mitigations with the goal ultimately of having safer people, safer vehicles, and a safer environment in which we operate. For the three most common topics on the survey, Some of the ways we are addressing them are by increased camera coverage at Central Station, the HR facility, as well as bus transfer centers, in addition to the ongoing bus barrier door project. We have implemented multiple methods of communications for our employees to report concerns, as well as to receive feedback on safety topics. And finally, we complete more frequent walkthroughs, audits, analyses, and are continuously monitoring improvements in technology to ensure we are putting safer vehicles on the road. Regarding the graphs now, the dark blue graphs are the 2024 results. The red is the 2023. The far left are our very satisfied and satisfied responses. The far right is our dissatisfied responses. In the middle would be neutral responses. The first question on the survey was related to the overall satisfaction of our safety program. And as you can see, there was a solid 10% increase over last year with a 7% decrease in negative responses. The second question related to our overall safe work environment, and again, there was a positive increase in responses and satisfied responses and a decrease in dissatisfied responses. The process of reporting safety concerns has to be very simple and overt for all employees, and the survey showed that 83% of our employees agree with that statement. And then once concerns are reported, the survey showed that 3/4 of employees were satisfied that those concerns had been addressed. As stated earlier, safety-related communication is one of the 3 most common topics, and this was the only item on this year's survey that was actually behind the 2023 results, and in this case, it was 1% less than last year's survey in positive responses. Moving right along, the surveys also showed that our employees felt that safety resources available to them are improving with a 5% increase. It is important for our employees to understand that there are no penalties for reporting safety concerns, and if they wish, their report could be anonymous. And again, 75% of our employees agree with those 2 statements. And finally, it's very important that our safety, go ahead. There you go. It's important for our employees to understand that safety is a team effort and that everybody has a part in keeping us safe. 83% of our employees agreed with that statement on the survey. And then finally, the very last graph shows the overall improvement of our safety culture from year over year versus 24 versus 23. And over half of our respondents agreed that we're in a better position today than we were last year with regards to our safety culture. So as you can see from all these results, there's a lot of positive improvement, a lot of positive movements in our safety culture. We've also been successful in several of our annual safety performance target goals, most notably reducing employee and passenger injuries year over year. For the fiscal year 2024, our goal was set at a 15% reduction year over year for injuries, and with 2 weeks left in the fiscal year, we're at a 17% reduction. So we're on track to meet a goal of reducing injuries year over year. So while we're definitely happy with those results, we're not satisfied, and then we're always going to be continuing to push forward to a safer safety culture. So I'll take any questions that you might have at this time.
What do you think encouraged more people to engage in the survey this year versus last year?
A lot of it was advertisement and word of mouth. A lot of face-to-face interaction with our folks and the encouragement and letting them make sure they understand that, yes, it is an anonymous survey if they choose to remain anonymous. I think that really spurred a lot of involvement.
I noticed in some of your engagements, you have fireside chats.
Yes, sir.
If it would be helpful, I think, if the board could help in any way to show our support for the importance of safety, you may want to invite a board member now and then, just so we can let people know that we understand how important safety is to our culture. I think some of us would be happy to attend a few of those meetings.
Absolutely. Those are administered in conjunction with the operations department, and we'll definitely pass that message along.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I've got one thing. Well, I really appreciate you saying we're never satisfied, especially in regards to safety. Since the reporting is anonymous, how are we going to reach out to those 10 to 15% dissatisfied respondents?
Good question. Whenever we have a trend in the topics, a lot of that information on the things that we're doing is, the improvements and some of the changes that we're making, those are presented at some of those group meetings. whether it be the fireside chats or at our quarterly all-hands meetings, which all employees are required to attend, and since we deliver the same message, they should be getting that information at that time. On occasion, I will get a follow-up from an employee individually. Sometimes they may be more comfortable in an individual setting, and the same information is passed along.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd just like to make a comment and say that I think we're making progress too, because people see the follow-through. Jessica before Jeff, and now Jeff, when they get critical feedback, they're acting on it promptly and then getting back to the person that reported it, which I think is phenomenal. I also think that there's been just a broader, this job is never done. Our turnover every year, we have drivers, mechanics, other personnel that are constantly changing over. So as good as we might be in any given year, there's new employees coming into the workforce. So that effort is never finished, never mind the goal. The
That's
effort
correct.
to reach people is never finished.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, Wayne, give us an update, would you?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chairman, and good afternoon, Board. My name is Wayne Gensler, Chief Operations Officer for Trinity Metro. I'm here to give you an update today on the Trinity Metro On Demand project. By the way, at the end of the meeting, anybody that would like to go see one of our new vehicles, it's out in front of the building. Feel welcome to come out. We'll be there to give you a quick peek at it and see the new upgraded vehicle that we have. Anybody that rides our current paratransit system today will really, I think, enjoy this vehicle as I enjoyed it the other day when I was driving it around town. So it's beautiful. So turning to page 22, you'll see a little bit about what's going on with Trinity Metro On Demand over the past several months. VIA and Trinity Metro has been attending community events, have been providing updates to our customers. They're standing up their local driver force and a facility. You can see a picture of their facility there where they're training drivers. So they're very close to us. They're off Jennings Road, and they're creating a close culture that will fit into Trinity Metro's culture as well. We're very pleased with what's going on with the current operation. Just so you know, currently they have in process of hiring 55 operators, which is about what Yellow Cab has today, a little bit more. So I feel comfortable at that point. Okay. Can you move it? Thank you. I'm sorry. Page 23, you see the major milestones. So June 3rd is really when the new contract started, and they integrated several different what was called zip zones, now on demand territories, South Tarrant, Southside, Mercantile, and transitioned southeast to VIA and eventually into Alliance. You can see milestone number 2, July 15th. That's when we launched Mansfield. And the Alliance, just so you know, Alliance during the month of August had 3,570 rides for the month. And then in Mansfield, our brand new partner, 1,705 rides. I mean, that's tremendous for really the first full month of service. And that trend continues today. So very, very, very pleased with what that launch has brought to Trinity Metro and to the citizens of Mansfield. Milestone number 3 was September 15th, and that's the launch of the North Side service and TCC Northeast. They only ran one day now at this point. They had riders as of day 1, and so we're pleased with that result as well. And then last but not least is going to be the conversion of going from Yellow Cab and the paratransit services on October 1st to VIA and Trinity Metro. So that transition is on track. I feel comfortable with it. They have all their vehicles on hand. We're getting our new vehicles, and we're branding them, so we'll all be one here shortly. All right. I guess we need to go. I guess you need to click for me. That's on. All right, going to the next page, page 24, sorry, Trinity Metro On Demand. Just to give you an understanding of what's going on in their process, they're trying to strive for a better rider experience for all of our customers. They're doing safe and on-time rides, and they have highly trained drivers. They're doing the same number of hours that we train our operators at 116 hours. They are employees. I'd like to make sure that everybody understands it. When you talk about Yellow Cab, you're talking about independent contractors. This group of people that driving for VIA are employees. And so the last day of service for Yellow Cab is September 30th. October 1st is the first day of service for VIA and Trinity Metro services. What is staying the same with Access? Turning to the next page, page 26. Well, there's a lot of things that are staying safe. Service phone number, it's remaining the same. So when customers want to call, they can call the same number they called today and enjoy and book a ride if that's their pleasure to do. Or if they're a subscription trip, which is a trip that they book in advance, they can continue to do so. Eligibility remains the same, so they have to go through the same process. Those that are already eligible remain eligible, so nothing more to do there for them as well. They'll just get transitioned to the new software. The cost remains the same, $4 per ride, and personal care attendants are free. Children under 4 are free as well. Payment method, exact cash is required, or you could get, if they so choose, pay through GoPass app. But everything remains the same. There are paper tickets you can purchase as well. There are 10 ride tickets currently. What is changing for Access? Page 28 of your packet. You'll see what's changing. So the service name, each and every one of us calls Zip Zone or Access every once in a while. Sometimes I even still hear MITS. Well, it's all going to be called Trinity Metro On Demand. It's under one product, one branding, so it makes it easier for everybody to understand what it is that they're booking. And so those names will disappear. It'll be Trinity Metro On Demand. The drivers, as I said before, are highly trained and will help with any specialized needs. The vehicles, in addition to Trinity Metro minibuses, there'll be black minivans branded Trinity Metro On Demand. I have some pictures here shortly. And notifications, and this is brand new. The VIA system, the VIA software allows for notifications to customers. So riders will receive a phone call or a text message with updates about the ride the night before and the day of the ride. That is new. That is great. It's great to know when a vehicle is coming. To the next page, page 29, the service name and drivers. The Access name is changing. I said this before, but it needs repeating, just so we don't forget. Changing to Trinity Metro On Demand, so you can see the former branding, Trinity Metro Access, moving to Trinity Metro On Demand. And again, the drivers are highly trained, 116 hours of training. Next page. We'll get a picture of the vehicle. So the one on the left is a current cutaway vehicle that Trinity Metro has. We have about 10 of those left and some mini movers left, and then we're supplementing them with 25 vehicles that you'll see outside to make a full, complete service offering for our customers in new vans or nearly new vans. They will all be wrapped in the same type of branding. It'll take a little longer for this for the cutaways that you see there. So day one, they may not be black and white like that. Well, they will not be, but they will in due short time. We have the design to our vendor, and they're going to be wrapping those vehicles shortly. So that's that vehicle. Turn to the next page, please. This is an unwrapped version of the new vehicle that we purchased. It does have 8 seated and 2 wheelchair spaces, as you can see. Again, at the end of the meeting, if you so choose, you can stop and take a peek. Great vehicle. It offers a better opportunity for our customers to feel comfortable and welcomed in a nice vehicle that is reliable. Turning to the next page, you're going to see sample notifications of what's brand new, what I told you about the sample text. So you'll see the sample text. This is a reminder regarding your Trinity Metro On Demand ride. You'll be picked up at, and it gives you the time and place. And that's the night before, and the day of, you'll see Trinity Metro On Demand vehicle is here. The driver has arrived and will meet you at the door. They will wait 5 minutes, just so everybody is clear about that. And turning to the next page, page 33, the driver may arrive up to 15 minutes before or after the time. That's considered on time in the paratransit world or on-demand world. And we'll wait 5 minutes once the time is that it was scheduled. So if it was scheduled at 11, they'll wait till 11:05 before they depart. They'll also be trying to connect with the customer via phone and knocking on the door so that we can communicate with the customer if they're running late. Driver will provide door-to-door service at your pickup and drop-off location. And once the driver arrives, the rider will receive a text message or phone call notification, and the driver is allowed to wait 5 minutes for the rider to board the vehicle before the rider is considered a no-show. And with that, that's the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
I have a couple of questions, and these are probably more Melissa questions because I've slept since our board retreat where we had the beautiful presentation with the rebranding. But remind me, please, the difference between Zip Zone renaming and Access. It's all Trinity Metro On Demand now, right?
Yes.
So how do people distinguish between the service that they're needing to book?
So if you're a microtransit, do you want to answer? I'm fine. I mean, so if you're a microtransit customer, you're generally used to doing an on-demand via the phone. So you use an app. You either use the GoPass app or the Trinity Metro app. And so you'll book your trip that way, same-day service. And that's your normal process. Nothing has changed there as well. We eventually will get there with all the customers on demand, but in the beginning, to make it easy for our clients that are in the access world, they're used to calling, and we want to continue that process. We're meeting with customers of the paratransit side to talk to them, to tell them how day one's going to look. And as we move through this process, we're going to continue that education process. So, because one day we want to give a paratransit customer the ability to do the same thing, book online if they please, if they so choose, and do the same day if they so choose. If they don't, everything remains the same for them. So we're having communications, long story short.
Okay.
Talking, sending notes. We sent letters, not notes, letters, and we'll have some other collateral for our customers as well. But an on-demand ride is an on-demand ride. It's all the same in some ways, and in some ways it's different. And it really is based on the booking process.
And you pretty much answered my second question, which was, I think I'm reminded of the survey feedback and how few people, without prompting, were able to recognize Trinity Metro as the transit service provider. So it makes me think, like, how are we going to mitigate for like this? We're changing again. We went from the T to Trinity Metro, and now we're going from Trinity Metro Access to Trinity Metro On Demand. So I was curious about some of the efforts that. Even today. Especially for access, because it's so important that they don't miss service, right?
Yes, we don't want them to miss service. We'll do whatever it takes to make sure that we'll meet with any group anytime. If you ever hear of a group that wants us to come out, Dietrich and team, including myself, our team, operations team, will come out, gladly do presentations. We want everybody to to understand what to do, how to do it, and what the expectations should be. Even today, when I go to some meetings, I hear people say MITS out loud. And
I said MITS Sunday. I was like, oh, the MITS bus is here. I mean, access.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So change is always hard, right? So we'll keep on talking.
Thank you.
Anything?
For Wayne?
I have a couple of comments. One is the Mansfield. I see Mayor Evans every month at the RTC, and he continues to be very appreciative and very thankful of the service that we're providing his residents, and he's excited about the relationship, and asked me to express his thanks to our team for the relationship that we've developed. So thank y'all. Thank you, team. And my second comment is Teresa and I have the honor of chairing the Access Committee for Trinity Metro. And the members of our committee are representatives of agencies that provide service to our customers. And VIA has been at our last two meetings, including the one a couple weeks ago, and their reception has been great. They're very receptive. They're very open to the comments that our members are expressing to them and their concerns about the service that has been provided to them, to their customers previously especially by Yellow Cab. And so I'm very optimistic of our new relationship with VIA, and I think that we're going to see great changes and great customer service improvements. So thank you
Yep.
to the Wayne and the team for that venture.
Thank you. I think they'll do an excellent
And
job.
actually, at our last meeting, they did bring one of the vans, the small van,
Yes, they did.
out so that our members could preview them. So thank you.
I just need one clarification on the 5-minute window. That will include a call and a knock on the door, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right,
Thank you, Wayne.
thanks.
Okay, Chad. Welcome again.
Hello there. Chad Edwards, Executive Vice President, Strategy Planning and Development here at Trinity Metro. I have a handful of things I want to share with you. First and foremost is what is listed in your agenda in your packet today, which is a General Planning Consultant update on pages 39 and 40. If you have any questions on any of those items, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to discuss any of those tasks. I will highlight one task, which is Task 18, which is a strategic action plan. We are underway on that. You will be hearing from a staff member at some point to schedule a meeting with you to interview you about what your thoughts are on Trinity Metro and its future. So please don't ignore our call when we call you. We're very excited about the strategic action plan and being able to roll this out hopefully before the end of the year so that we can get direction and get a plan and get moving on that plan as well. A couple of other items I wanted to share with you include we have TexRail public meetings tomorrow. We have 3 meetings. We have 2 on the train tomorrow, early afternoon, and then we have 1 traditional meeting here at Fort Worth Central Station at 5 o'clock. Basically, what we're going to be doing is sharing with the public the schedule changes that we have planned for TexRail, which would be 30 minutes essentially all day on TexRail. So we're super excited about that. It'd be about from 5 a.m. to 8:30, 9 o'clock p.m., and then after that would be hourly up until about midnight. So we've already heard from people asking about 30-minute headways all day long. So we wanted to share this in public meetings. You will, at the next board meeting, have an opportunity to approve those schedule changes. But I want to give you a preview on that. We want to have our public meeting and talk to a few folks before we actually brought it to you. All indications at this point say, yes, we should do this. Just a handful of folks who might be inconvenienced because of the time that they utilize the train currently. Let's see if, because it wasn't on. There we go. All right, so I wanted to share some ridership updates with you. This is a slide very similar to what you saw last month, but we're getting close to the end of the fiscal year, and I want to update it a couple times before we finish our fiscal year. If you look at FY24, our goal for this year is 7.8 million rides. We are currently at the end of August, we are at 7.177 million rides. If you move over to FY23 and look at that end of year number at 6,799, we are actually about 300,000 plus over where we were at the end of last year. So that's super exciting, I think, for us. We're very close to the 7.8 million number and our goals there. We only have about, what was my number? About 622,000 rides needed for this month. Thanks to Great Fest, we're well on our way to already achieving that number. But this would, if we hit our 7.8 million number as we think we will, this will be 1 million rides every year for the past 3 years. So all indications point up for us in our ridership numbers. Just to break it down a little bit more and look at month by month, you can see here where we compare to last year's fiscal year ridership numbers We're at 658,000 rides in August, which is about the same that we had in July. So if you just take those last 3 or 4 months and average them out, it looks like we'll be well ahead of the 7.8 number that we're looking at. Tito, last month asked about the peer numbers. We went ahead and prepared those. You can see here, this is as of July, so it's not as recent as I'd like to share with you, but I can only share the information that's provided to us from those agencies. But you can see here where we compare to the other agencies in Texas. That last number there, 5.8% above where we were in February of 2020. Dallas area rapid transit is still down about 16%, and then you can see the rest of the agencies in Texas. So we're doing pretty well, and our claim that we're 100% back is still validated and is accurate. A couple other items very quickly. If you've heard of a little thing called the Mayor's Urban Rail Committee on supporting tourism and economic development. We had our first meeting last week. I'm all over the place. First meeting last week, and that was kind of to set the stage for what the next 3 meetings we're going to focus on. The next meeting is on September 19th at 9 o'clock, where the Texas A&M Transportation Institute will provide a report and review some funding models and sources, and then the committee is expected to identify an entertainment district that they'd like to see focused on in Fort Worth. The 3 entertainment districts that are currently identified is from downtown to the stockyards, from downtown to the cultural district, and then from downtown to the near south side in the Magnolia area. After the September 19th, they'll have another meeting on October 10th, about 3 weeks away, where our consultants here at Trinity Metro will provide some economic impact findings and a high-level estimated cost for the selected corridor that was selected at the meeting this week. And then the last meeting is October 17th, where they'll wrap it up and then ask any additional Q&A and questions and follow-up and things like that to make sure that everybody's on the right path. And then we'll provide a document that will wrap up the whole effort so that we have a great path forward from the city, Trinity Metro, and the community as well. Lastly is the Transit Coalition of North Texas has its annual luncheon on Friday. Hopefully you guys are signed up and going. We have our esteemed CEO on the panel with Paul Christina and Nadine Lead, both CEOs of DCTA and DART. And then we have Carolyn Mays, who's a TxDOT Director of Planning and Modal Programs. She's been making her rounds around Texas, presenting on some of the changes and new ideas that TxDOT has for integrating transit into the planning process a little better than they have in the past. So she's a great speaker as well. So if you have that opportunity, hopefully we'll see you there at the annual luncheon. That is all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
I just want to ask, can we get the slides, the data slides that were not in the
Yes, ma'am.
packet? Thank you.
Let me give you a chance to talk. We've had some significant enhanced ridership the last 2 or 3 years. Is there a ceiling on that? 2 questions, actually. One, what do you attribute that to? And 2, what is the ceiling on that in the next few years? What's your opinion?
I think part of the opportunity is growing population here in Fort Worth as we continue to move up that chart from 13th to 12th to, I think some have said here recently, 10th largest city. I haven't seen that in writing yet, but I keep hearing that.
Or 12, I think.
12th. We'll stop at 12th until otherwise.
I hear 11.
We're
Too ambitious, right? So a lot of it is growth. I think a lot of it is a focus on our riders. An opportunity, with Rich coming in and really taking a look at trying to, modernize the system, simplify it, make it easier for people to use. We've made some changes in that direction here in the last couple of years that really make it, easier for people to use. I think that will continue. And then the opportunity of just trying to get our name out there, like Charlotte said earlier, about referencing some of the work that we had done in the retreat, the board retreat. I think that as we get our name out there and people understand what we do, they start to correlate those opportunities as well. So a lot of work on our end to make this happen, a lot of work still yet to come. I don't know that I see a ceiling yet. We have a lot of opportunity to grow. You can see that in the chart of 1 million per year. Now that is a recovery after a pandemic, so there is some of that there, but I still think we have a lot of opportunity ahead of us.
It was alarming at the RTC meeting about 6 weeks ago when Michael Moore showed a slide and talked about public transportation being down dramatically, like 24%, 28%, and I didn't pick up the phone and call Mr. Morris, but I just wondered where he got that data, because if DART is only 18% from their highs during the pandemic, where's that coming from?
That's right. So what the Council of Governments does for Michael's report is aggregate all of the transit ridership data across the region as they're a regional entity. They don't break it out like we do. So I had spent a little bit of time conversating with the folks there at the Council of Governments, talking about how we might be able to represent those numbers a little bit better.
Yeah.
They're going to be, I think, a little reluctant to break it out because they don't want to, they don't want to disparage the other transit agencies, but that's why I get to present the charts I do here at this meeting. So there's still a little work, I think, on our end, trying to reflect those numbers a little bit better.
Well, given the auto-centric nature of the RTC, those kind of numbers don't help our mission at public transportation at all.
They certainly don't. But as you know, DART is challenged right now with some issues. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to say this nicely, but there's a lot of issues there, and so it's something that we're trying to be mindful of and not pile on if we don't have to. But we certainly want to be able to toot our own horn when possible about our successes here in Fort Worth.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Just one comment. I mean, all the good work that we've been doing around building the brand is paying off very quickly. The growth rates we're seeing now over the last 3 years, 15 to 20% compounded annually. Mm-hmm. At those rates, you can just imagine where the ridership numbers will be in 5 years. The other thing I'll say is that the data that we receive from our market research, we have 700,000 unique users in Tarrant County. So there's 700,000 unique individuals that use Trinity Metro every year. Now, they're not all using Trinity Metro every day. Some are only using it once a month to go to an event. But the fact that we have 700,000 people, this is not a service for a few. This is a service for a large portion of our population. So it's great work. And the benchmarking, we'll continue to do the benchmarking here, both within the region and nationally. And so to your point, Chad, the ceiling is, who knows where that ceiling is. It's a long way off.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rich.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. We have a community engagement report. Tamika, are you going to present?
I am.
All right.
Give y'all the chance to see my face for a change. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Tamika Grant, and I have probably been a part of Trinity Metro for 26 years and leading the customer care department for the past 3 years. My data team includes 15 customer care representatives and 4 kiosk representatives, and today I will be giving the community engagement report. So if you can please turn your attention to page 43. This is our average wait time. One of our goals for the call center is to reduce the hold time for our customers to 1 minute and 5 seconds, and we measure this by per 100K trips. If you look at the blue line, it represents our actual wait time. This line fluctuates, showing periods where the wait time exceeds the target up to 5 minutes, and periods where it falls below as low as 1.3 minutes, which is our target. The red line represents our target wait time. It is set consistently at 1 minute and 5 seconds, representing the goal for average wait times. While there have been periods of high wait times, there are also instances where the wait time has significantly improved, even exceeding expectation. This graph helps consistently identify trends and areas needing improvement to meet the target. On page 44, this is a snapshot of the total calls for August. As you can see by the numbers, Access is our highest call volume. Access with 14,886, Bus 3,912, TextRail 854, Zip Zone 60, and other, which includes the TRE, complaints, and general questions at 4,432, for a total of 24,144 accepted calls for the month of August. On page 45, these are our total calls answered year to date. 70% of the calls being accessed, reaching over 140,000. The TRE, complaints and general questions represented by other, 17%, 9% bus, while TextRail and Zip Zone contribute a small percentage of those calls. This graph helps analyze trends in customer service demand across different transportation services. As you can see, the access calls are our highest volume of calls. On average, it takes approximately 3 to 15 minutes to book a trip, and depending on the severity of the customer's needs. On page 46, the customer care key performance indicators. It's not just about answering the phones, it's about delivering exceptional customer service. We are aiming to resolve our customers' issues on the first call without the need to transfer the call, which is called first call resolution. Reduce wait time by half a minute. Our goal is to decrease the average wait time for customers by half a minute to improve service efficiency. Increase efficiency. Enhance overall operational efficiency in handling customer inquiries. By focusing on these items, we will help us to improve customer satisfaction through better service quality and responsiveness. These KPIs are crucial for ensuring that my team delivers high-quality service and meets customers' expectations. Moving on to page 47, here are some of our improvements. In collaboration with Deetra, we have identified areas of improvement to enhance customer service and internal processes. Before, we had no complaint follow-up process. Reps were out of the loop. Ferry Bright, who is our quality review manager, was doing it by herself. Refunds were handled by accounting. No direct involvement from customer care. Inconsistent answers, no standardized responses. To alleviate that, a task force committee was created, and we meet bi-weekly to discuss frequently asked questions and create a standardized script for agents to follow. Before we only had a PM lead, before we only had a PM lead, and we had no AM lead, no special announcements on the phone systems. Since then, what we have improved, our reps are involved in complaint resolutions, ensuring issues are addressed and closed, working closely with Ferry, our quality review manager. We have hired an AM lead to addition to the PM, which improves leadership and oversight. We have a dedicated rep for special announcements, ensuring important updates are communicated to the public. Scorecards for reps to track success. Our team has attended professional customer service training, which we plan to continue on a regular basis. These changes aim to improve efficiency, consistency, and overall customer satisfaction. On the next page, we have a new look and a new attitude. With a new look comes a new attitude. Our team member will be sporting the happy blue uniforms, indicating a change in appearance to present a fresh professional image. We have invited some of my team members here today, and I can ask them to stand so they can show off their happy blue uniforms. Thank y'all for coming out and supporting. When we talk about new attitude, this suggests a shift in our approach to customer service and internal culture, aiming for a more positive and proactive attitude. This rebranding effort aims to enhance customer perception and boost employee morale. Lastly, what's in the name? A new look has to come with a new name. The team was involved with coming up with a new name. This name change signifies a shift towards a more holistic and solution-oriented service, aiming to enhance customer satisfaction and operational efficiency. The new name for the call center reflects a comprehensive approach to customer service. Here is what it conveys. Customer support emphasizes the primary role of assisting customers with their inquiries, issues, and needs. It highlights the commitment to providing health solutions, indicates a proactive approach to not just support, but also resolving problems and offering effective solutions. It suggests that the team is dedicated to finding answers and improving the overall customer experience. So we are now called Customer Support and Solutions, or CSS for short. This concludes the customer care report, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them before I move into the next slides.
Just one question. So when someone calls customer support, how do you field the calls? Is there a number that's like, I have an access question, send me to access? Because it seems like 70% of our calls are for access.
They are.
So is there a dedicated task force within customer service that's only handling these access questions, or is it kind of first come, first serve?
It's actually kind of first come, first serve, and me and Deidre actually talked about that, finding a couple of strong access customer service reps that were fast and just having those do those. But because we do get so many access calls, it will be impossible for 3 or 4 to just focus on access. So we have the whole team dedicated to answering access calls. So at least they won't be as long, just having just a few answering those access calls and questions.
Okay, thank you.
And the access calls include booking rides, right?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
It's not just complaints.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. They can only reserve rides between 8 a.m. and 5, but they can call up to 5 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m., inquiring about the ETAs, or they can make changes to those additional trips the next day after 5 o'clock. So they can call, like I said, from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. inquiring about their access information.
And one thing about our access customers, their needs sometimes require more time.
It does. It does. And depending on how many trips they're booking, if they're not on a subscription trip and they're booking several trips for the week, it can get kind of time consuming with the access customers.
So do y'all disaggregate that access call? Like if your goal is 0.5 1.5 or lower, do y'all disaggregate that so that you can have a clear picture of are the traditional customer service calls meeting that target versus, so that the number isn't skewed by the longer access calls?
Right. We actually talked about that, and I think that's something we're actually moving forward to, just trying to figure out what's the best solution to give those accurate numbers for that.
The questions? You're still on.
Okay. All right, valid complaints by mode. These graphs represents the number of complaints for both access and fixed route. Ferry's campaigns have been working, but we did see a spike in complaints for fixed route during August. Meetings will be scheduled with operations to create future campaigns to alleviate some of those high-low numbers that you're seeing on the board. Then lastly, on the next slide, I want to remind you of 2 upcoming events. This Saturday is our 5th annual Bus Stop Cleanup Day. If you are interested in participating, please see Ms. Dietrich. Next is our 22nd annual Scholarship Golf Tournament, October 28th at the Cowboys Golf Club. If you are interested in playing, please see Ms. Dietrich. If no one mentions the rodeo, I'm going to mention it because I ain't heard it yet. Our bus rodeo is October the 5th. We're looking forward to see our team members show off their skills. So if you guys don't have anything else to do on October the 5th, please come out and support. And that does conclude my report.
I think there's multiple staff executives that drove slower than me last year, so I'm just saying we might have to have a rematch, Wayne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tamika. All right, Greg. Here we go.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. I'm Greg Jordan, Chief Financial Officer. Last month on August 19th, we had a budget workshop to walk you through the FY25 proposed operating and capital budget. This afternoon, I'm back seeking your approval on the FY25 operating and capital budgets. As we mentioned in the meeting last time, there was one correction that needed to be made just due to timing. The Everman and Crowley zip zones were included in the proposed budget. The numbers before you today have made accommodations to remove those out from the budget, so there's a reduction of $112,710 on both the revenue and expenditure sides. That brings your proposed FY25 operating budget on the revenues to $180,492,365, and the new expenditure amount is $163,771,502. With that, I'll take any questions you may have. Thank you.
Questions from the board? You getting off easy, Greg? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
A motion to approve BA 2024-31 and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Reed? Welcome.
Glad you could join us.
Glad I could make it.
We all noticed that you just walked in.
Thank you.
Where's the orange vest?
You looked a little different earlier.
If you noticed earlier, I'm not Sherry Lee. Good afternoon. I'm Reed Lanham, Vice President of Rail here at Trinity Metro. Before I get into this action item, something I wanted to announce that I should have done in prior board meetings. We have a new manager of rail operations. I say new, he's been here about 5 months now. Brad Beeson joined our team. And so now he can leave me alone and stop poking fun at me for forgetting to announce him. So thank you for letting me do that. If you'll look on page 58 of your packets, we've got board action item BA 2024-32. This concerns the extension of our TRE, Trinity Railway Express commuter rail operations and maintenance contract. I am not going to read through this whole thing for you guys. The important thing to know here is that we've come to the end of our first initial 10-year agreement with Herzog operating on the TRE. They have continued to do a phenomenal job for us, and we see with the staff that we have at TRE and our partners at Herzog, we've seen a great improvement in the performance of TRE. Our ridership is growing. It may not be growing at the clip that we are in other services, but it is growing. The reliability is excellent, especially with the equipment that we have. We have a lot of major initiatives that we're working on to upgrade that equipment, to overhaul the current equipment that we have and improve the customer experience. All these, we feel it is key to have a partner working with us who understands the railroad, who knows it, and is as effective as Herzog is. So with that, we have an option for a 10-year extension to the current term. Under the TRIAC, the Trinity Railway Express Advisory Committee's direction, we have split that into 2 5-year options. And the price for this first initial 5 years will be $228,898,342. That will be split equally between DART and Trinity Metro. So with Trinity Metro being responsible for $114,449,171. There's some language in here that references the Silver Line and the Medill subdivisions, which are fully DART-owned properties, and this being a regional contract, DART is fully allowed to use this to create some efficiencies for them on their operations, and this is a very wise move on their part. So with that, the recommendation of the staff is that the Trinity Metro Board of Directors authorizes the President and Chief Executive Officer to exercise the first 5 years of a 10-year option and retain 1 5-year option of the existing operations and maintenance service agreement, contract number 2005858-1 for the Trinity Railway Express, the Medill subdivision, and fund Trinity Metro's total share of the TRE 5-year option period in the amount of $114,449,171. $83 million of that will be used for operating expenses, and another $31 is reserved for capital expenses. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
What's the timeline on getting the double tracking done?
Richie, we are in final design right now on the double tracking. 2027, as my astute colleague, Mr. Thompson, informs us.
And what does that mean for TRE?
That's going to give us more operational flexibility. We, with the addition of new equipment, the staff will begin to look at improving headways, making the schedule more efficient. But yeah, that gives us more capacity across our corridor.
And that would mean perhaps more ridership.
That could definitely lead to more ridership, sir.
Mr. Chairman, one thing, at the TRIAC meeting, it was floated that TRE might run 2 express trains during rush hour periods, so that'd be 4 express trains a day. And we could do that without the double tracking. So that could expedite this kind of express service that we hope to have with the double tracking.
Everyone would like that.
I agree.
Any comments, questions?
I just have a
Yes, ma'am.
clarification. How many people are we talking about here? Just curious. How many folks?
Ridership?
No, I'm saying how many folks under this, where it talks about general maintenance for TRE and Silverline?
Yes.
Operation, how many folks are we talking about?
So right now in the regional O&M, Trinity Metro and DART are both a party to that contract. It was procured by DART, so this is a DART-owned contract that we are a party to. In the beginning, way back, DCTA was also in this as well.
Right.
But they chose to pull out before their latest contract renewal.
But I'm talking about resources. How many resources are allocated to the maintenance of this?
Number of employees?
Number of employees,
Number of
whatever you want
employees.
to call it.
Brad, I'd say we have roughly 80 to 100 on TRE alone. That includes crews, signal maintainers, track maintenance. And a lot of those, as far as signal and track maintenance go, they're utilized on TexRail as well. The region benefits from that. It's a cost savings to us. I can't speak to the Silverline structure just yet. They're still a little ways off from opening service, and I'm not sure what their staffing levels will look like.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, I'll accept a motion on BA 2024-32. We have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Thank you, Tito. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Bree. Now, after a lovely grand opening weekend, I'd like to hear from the president.
Yeah, thank you. It was a wonderful day for Trinity Metro on Friday, wasn't it? No surprise, I'm going to dedicate my time at this meeting to talking about Orange Line because I think it's that important. So yeah, Trinity Metro, we did it. Trinity Metro Orange Line is clearly a winner. Our kickoff on Friday was a major success by every measure. Mayor Parker, Councilman Flores, other city leaders, and many of you at this dais were there. I appreciate that. It was great to see all of you. You know, seeing our buses nestled below the Fort Worth Stockyards sign in what is arguably the cultural heart of our city was the picture-perfect location. It was extra special to see our Trinity Metro team decked out in white shirts and vests. We looked sharp and showed Fort Worth we are playing to win. As we hoped, our event and our colorful new service generated 20 unique stories by every major broadcast and print media outlet in the Metroplex. That's a great accomplishment. Kudos to the team. Our sponsorship of the events in the Stockyards on Saturday brought fans and families together for Trinity Metro branded activities. We had cornhole games, line dancing, face painting, roller roping, and armadillo races brought smiles to faces young and old alike. And my son Ford was out there with the armadillo races, and it was he won one of the races, and he got a small can of armadillo milk, and he's very excited about that.
Afraid to ask.
Yes. Our Trinity Metro branded bandanas were a hot item too. And it's clear you're onto something when everyone proudly wears the Trinity Metro gear. Melissa Chrisman quipped that restaurant servers in the Stockyards were donning the Trinity Metro garb to wait on customers. So you really can't pay enough for that kind of brand placement. Orange Line is not just a new bus service, it represents a new bold strategy for Trinity Metro. Orange Line and the other new color-coded routes to follow over the next 18 to 24 months is an opportunity to experiment with public transportation in Fort Worth. By making transit fun and attractive, we have a chance to build new markets and reach non-traditional riders. The 11.4 million visitors who come to Fort Worth each year is just the beginning of that opportunity. Orange Line will help us test new service features, onboard music, video screens with helpful ads, fun interiors, under-bus lighting, and Wi-Fi are just the beginning. Streamlined routes, simple fares, are other ways we are taking the guesswork out of riding public transportation. Orange Line is the first Trinity Metro service to use and accept Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, debit, and credit on board. It all ties in with our vision to be the preferred choice for simple, safe, and innovative mobility services. In closing, I want to give special thanks to all the Trinity Metro team members who played a role in Orange Line. The leadership provided by Melissa Chrisman, Wayne Gensler, and Kelly Shield was instrumental, and the collaboration among dozens of team members across every department got us to where we needed to be. I want to give a special shout out too to Nicole Adams for building support with hotels. She practically moved into the lobbies of the hotel. I'm not kidding. She's they've come to know her on a first name basis. And Nate Newby for his unique and rare blend of artistic creativity and ability to meet deadlines. And as one example of that, I kid you not, I had asked for white wall tires on the buses and real Longhorns on the buses. And to the credit of the team, they humored me. We worked through the unique challenges with those ideas, and we got to an end result, which I think is phenomenal. So to the credit of our team, they never wavered or complained, but hunkered down and delivered each and every one of them.
And my hat's off to the people that worked on it. The detail was wonderful. They handed out cards showing the schedules. Everything went like clockwork, and those events just don't happen that very often that are that well done. So thank you from the board. And I handed out to the board Michael Morris's recent commentary on the horses out of the barn when it comes to regional transportation. And I've been a member of the RTC since I've been chair, and I'm loath to speak just because you got 3 or 4 people that understand transit, and the other folks are pretty much road people. But we're going to have 4 or 5 million more people in the next 20, 25 years coming to the region. And Michael Morris, I think, is legitimately terrified about where to put them. And we're talking about Transit 2.0 to this RTC group. Again, understand that 3 or 4 people really understand transit. And Michael was presenting a legislative package to talk about the kinds of things we need to do to advance transit in the region, with the understanding that TxDOT and the state of Texas does very little, if anything, for transit. And Mr. Morris is trying to get money, blood out of a stone maybe, but he understands the importance of everything being connected. And if you'll take a look a minute, if I'll have a couple copies here, I can make more. But these people are going to move in the suburbs, out in the country, and require more highways. And I've said before that RTC, not just Michael Moore, they don't have enough money to pay for those roads. And that if they did have the money logistically, they couldn't build them. So Michael is talking about this importance of transit-oriented development, making those people coming to our communities more dense, live around your stations, and saying all the kinds of things that he has to say, because we can't keep building those roads. In Fort Worth, there are 350 square miles. 1/3 of those that square mileage, it's raw land. There are communities all over the state of Texas where the counties don't have jurisdiction to ask the developers or tell the developers how to build the streets, the water and sewer. There's no control whatsoever because they're required to give approval to these new mud districts. And what's going to happen in North Texas is, as some have said, Alito's going to be the center of the Metroplex in 30 years. We just can't keep going in this direction. And so if you can, thank Michael Morris for this new approach. And when it came time to talk about the 7 or 8 initiatives to lobby for, to enhance transit. The RTC discussion mostly was dominated by those suburbs that don't want to help transit. They were already talking about things that wouldn't work and why they wouldn't work. And one of the comments was, I have other places to spend that $200 million, which we don't have and we'll never get, and that's just a drop in the bucket. In other words, there's a reluctance of the RTC in many of these communities to be partners. And I think one thing about Fort Worth, we just want everybody to get by. There's this concept of regionalism. We have that. In Fort Worth, we have that in Tarrant County. I know we do. I just don't know why other people don't understand that we're all in this together, and if we share and do together, we'll be better off. So let's think about what that means about building smarter. Let's think about telling your friends about the importance of transit. Everywhere I go, I talk about TexRail being the finest commuter rail in the United States, and I mean it. It's $2. In Denver, it's $12.50. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to talk for a minute about the concept of density and the importance of understanding that we need to be a part of this regional solution and that it's going to be a struggle. So thank you for being here today. And if there's no further business to come before the board, we are adjourned.